Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fluent English with Jane, where every lesson brings you closer to fluency. I'm Jane.
Hello, Jane, and hello to all our listeners. I'm Mark, and I'm really happy to be here today. By the way, how it is going, Jane?
I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Feeling really excited for today's topic. How about you, Mark?
I'm excited too. Today's topic is something so many learners deal with.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. What are we talking about today?
Today's episode is called Don't Talk English That Way. There are many ways learners struggle when speaking English, and we're going to chat about them in a friendly way.
Yes, everyone experiences it, whether you're practicing alone, speaking with friends, or just thinking in English. And before we dive in, a quick favor to our listeners.
Yes, if you enjoy our channel, please click subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends.
It really helps the channel grow and allows us to bring more fun lessons. All right, let's get started. So Mark, can you tell us what you mean when you say, "Don't talk English that way"? How should our listeners understand it?
Yeah, there are a lot of things in the way someone speaks that make others think, please don't talk English like that. And one of the main reasons is the speaker's lack of confidence.
You are right, confident is very important, and lack of confidence can make listeners think that way.
You know, when someone talks quietly, avoids eye contact, gets shy, or even starts shaking a little, their English might be correct, but the way they speak makes it hard for others to follow or feel comfortable.
Yes, I remember when I first tried speaking to new people in English, I'd get so nervous that I couldn't look at anyone, my voice would get really soft, and sometimes I even paused in the middle of sentences.
And it's very common. I used to do the same during presentations, knowing exactly what to say but being so self-conscious that my hands shook and my sentences sounded flat.
Yeah, it's like the lack of confidence takes over, even if you know English well.
Right. But the good news is there are ways to overcome it. Small things like practicing in front of a mirror, speaking out loud at home, recording yourself, or even just making eye contact with a friend while speaking can gradually build confidence.
I did that too. It really helps. And I noticed that the more I practiced, the less shy I felt, and the more naturally my English came out.
Exactly. Confidence grows with practice. Once you gain it, your English sounds more fluent, your thoughts flow better, and you stop worrying about every little mistake.
Yeah, Mark. And another habit I see a lot in English learners is overthinking. What exactly does that mean?
Overthinking is when someone spends too much time in their head while speaking. They worry about grammar, word choice, or translating from their native language, and it slows down their speaking.
So it's like they know what they want to say, but they can't get the words out naturally?
Absolutely. And overthinking leads to long pauses, hesitation, or even forgetting what you were going to say. It also makes learners avoid trying new words or more complex sentences because they're scared of mistakes.
Why do learners overthink so much?
There are a few reasons. One is fear of making mistakes. Another is comparing themselves to others or trying to speak perfectly. And translating from their native language can also cause the brain to slow down while thinking.
That makes sense. So how can someone stop overthinking?
Some tips. First, focus on communicating your idea, not on perfect grammar. Second, practice thinking in English so you don't have to translate every sentence. Third, start with small goals, like using one new word or sentence in daily practice.
And accepting mistakes as part of learning helps too, right?
Yes, absolutely. When learners accept that mistakes are normal, they stop overthinking and speak more freely. Over time, speaking becomes smoother, faster, and more natural.
So, dear listeners, don't overthink. Focus on communication, practice thinking in English, and take small steps every day. That's the way to speak more confidently and naturally. Mark, also I notice many learners treat English like a test. They focus so much on saying every word perfectly that it makes speaking feel stressful.
Yes, I see that too. They pause a lot, check grammar in their heads, and it interrupts the flow.
And when learners treat English like a test, their mind is busy with rules instead of ideas. That makes sentences sound stiff or unnatural.
And they often stick to simple words or safe sentences because trying something new feels risky.
Right. One way to overcome this is to focus on expressing ideas clearly rather than perfect grammar. Start with short, simple sentences and gradually add longer ones.
Also, short, real-life practice is very helpful, like ordering food, asking questions, or chatting with a friend. It trains you to speak naturally without overthinking.
Yes, it keeps English practical and fun instead of stressful. Gradually, learners get more comfortable experimenting with new words and sentences.
So, the main point is, stop thinking like it's a test, speak naturally, and focus on sharing your ideas. That way, English starts to flow better.
Mark, after talking about treating English like a test, I've noticed another thing that slows learners down: comparing themselves to others or to native speakers. Why do you think that happens?
It happens because learners notice others speaking faster, using more advanced words, or making fewer mistakes. That comparison creates pressure and stress.
Yes, and it often makes them hesitate, speak more slowly, or avoid trying new expressions.
Some even feel frustrated or think they'll never be as good as others, which slows down their progress.
So what can learners do to stop comparing themselves?
A few things. First, focus on your own progress instead of looking at others. Track small improvements and celebrate them.
And remember, even native speakers make mistakes. Everyone learns at their own pace. Comparing yourself doesn't help at all.
Right. Another tip is to set personal goals, like learning a few new words each week or speaking a short conversation without stopping. Measure your progress by your own growth, not someone else's.
So Mark, have you ever felt that way?
Oh, definitely. It's easy to see someone speaking so smoothly and think, why can't I speak like that? Suddenly, your own words feel slow or awkward. But here's the thing. Comparing yourself doesn't make you better. Everyone has their own pace, and even native speakers make mistakes. The key is to focus on your own progress and keep experimenting without pressure.
That makes sense. So it's really about your own journey, not someone else's speed or style.
Exactly. If you keep looking at others, you miss how much you're improving every day. It's better to celebrate small wins and build confidence step by step.
Also, sometimes learners know all the words they want to say, but the sentences still sound off. Why does that happen?
I know exactly what you mean. Many learners try to translate everything word by word from their native language into English, and that's where the problem starts. English doesn't always follow the same order or use the same expressions, so the result can sound unnatural.
Oh, that explains a lot. I've noticed sentences like, I very like this movie, instead of, I really like this movie. It's correct word by word, but the order and meaning get mixed.
And it's not just word order. Idioms, phrasal verbs, and even common expressions are often completely different. Translating literally can make sentences sound awkward or even confusing.
I guess it also slows learners down, right? Because they're thinking of each word instead of just speaking.
Yes, that's a big issue. Word-for-word translation makes learners pause too much, stumble, and sometimes forget what they were going to say. It can even make their sentences sound robotic.
So, what's the solution? How can learners stop doing this?
First, you need to train your brain to think in English. Start small. For example, when you're at home, describe what you're doing in English. I'm cooking dinner, or I'm reading a book. Don't translate. Just speak directly in English.
That seems simple but effective. What about more complicated sentences?
Good question. That's where learning common phrases and sentence patterns really helps. Instead of building every sentence from scratch, you can use ready-made chunks. These make your English sound natural instantly.
Oh, I see. So learners don't have to think about every word. They just grab the phrase and keep the conversation flowing. Wow, Mark, that was a lot of useful tips today. We covered so many habits that can make English sound unnatural.
Yes. And the good news is that all of these challenges can be improved with small steps. Practicing naturally, focusing on your own progress, thinking in English, and using simple, clear sentences.
And remember, English is not about being perfect. It's about communicating clearly, experimenting, and enjoying the process.
Also, making mistakes is part of learning. Every conversation, every practice, every small improvement counts.
So keep speaking, keep practicing, and don't worry about sounding perfect. English will flow more naturally the more you use it.
That's right. And if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, like, and share so we can bring you more tips and lessons to help you speak confidently.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, don't talk English that way. See you next time. See you.